Hello, Year 5. I'm going to take you through your English home learning for today. So we're going to be writing using a range of sentence structures. Okay, so we've had lots of practice of this last term. So we're going to be putting that into practice today. So to do that, a good way to remember different types of sentences is to think about DADWAVERS. So can you remember what each of the DADWAVERS stands for? I'll give you a couple of seconds to see how many you can get before I show you. Okay, shall we see if you got them all? So we've got description, action, dialogue, where, adverb, verb, estimation of time, a rhetorical question, and a simile or a metaphor. So if you remember, we had a practice last term using these, and they are different ways to start your sentences or different types of sentences. We're going to be thinking together about two of those in particular. We're going to look at verbs and adverbs today before you have a go at the rest of them yourselves. So a verb is a word to describe an action, which you all know. They are useful to begin a sentence to make writing more interesting. A good way to practice this is to use a verb ending in ing. For example, dashing through the streets, I made my way to the centre of Rome. Waiting for his arrival seemed like an eternity. Have you spotted where the commas go? They don't go after the verb, do they? It separates the subordinate clause beginning the sentence with the main clause at the end. So if you remember, a subordinate clause is that bit of information that doesn't make sense on its own. It's linked to the main clause, which does make sense on its own, but dashing through the streets wouldn't be a sentence. Okay, it's that extra bit of information, and the comma goes at the end of it. So let's look at adverbs. An adverb tells us more about a verb. It can tell us how, where, when, why, and with what frequency or how often something happens. Although many adverbs end in ly, there are some that don't, and we did a lot of work on fronted adverbials last term, so I know that you can already tell me adverbials that don't end in ly because we had a good practice at that. So here are some examples here. Solemnly, the procession passed us by. Foolishly, the soothsayer stepped out in front into the path of Caesar. When we begin a sentence with an adverb ending in ly, we usually use a comma straight after it. So that's your adverb, so the comma goes straight after it. If it was an adverbial, like with great speed, the procession passed us by, the comma would go after the adverbial with great speed, comma. So what I want you to do is just have a little practice in your home learning books of starting a sentence with a verb and then starting a sentence with an adverb. So I've got some examples here for you. Here's the verbs. And again, you can choose one of these or you can think of your own verb to write at the start of your sentence. I'll show you what I wrote for my verb. Pondering which way to go, Bradley looked at Jeff to help him decide. All right, so I've used pondering and my comma look has gone because that's the subordinate clause. It's gone at the end of that. And then I want you to have a go at starting a sentence with an adverb. So I've done effortlessly, the footballer scored a tremendous goal. So what I want you to do is pause me here, and in your home learning books, can you write a sentence starting with a verb and then an adverb? All right, off you go. Okay, let's carry on then. So your task today is to describe this busy scene. And I want you to use your DADWAVERS to help you use different sentence structures. So I would like you to choose at least 5. So 5 or more of these dad waivers. Your challenge is to write a sentence for every single one of them. Okay, because I know lots of you would be more than capable of doing that. So you have a choice now. You can either stop the video here and you can carry on writing your sentences with your dad waivers, or you can stay with me and I will do some together with you. All right, so your choice. If you're going to stay with me, let's carry on. So here's our picture. You can see it a bit more clearly now. So we've got a busy street scene. Okay, so if we have a look at what's in the picture first of all. There's lots going on and there's lots to write about. Okay, so I'm going to do 4 of the dad waivers with you. I'm going to start with description. So I'm going to look at that picture and I'm going to describe what I can see. So I've written, the busy town was bustling with people out and about. That's what I can see happening. That's my description. Okay, so pause me here. Can you write a descriptive sentence about the whole picture or just a part of the picture? But describe what you can see. Okay, off you go. Okay, are you ready to go on to the A? I've chosen action for A because we've already had to think about adverbs. So we're going to do action together. So what do I want to write about that's happening in my picture? Because that's what action is, isn't it? It's what is happening. So I've written, the dog, here he is, look, can you see him there? The dog ran as quick as a flash down the street, pulling its startled owner along. All right, so that's my sentence where something is happening. So pause the video here. You can use, if you want to start or take the dog as well as an idea and write about that, that's fine. Can you see something else that's happening, a bit of action that you can write about? Okay, off you go. Okay, shall we move on? So we're going to do where next. So whatever I'm talking about, where is it? I'll show you what I wrote. On top of the grand golden statue, the seagull perched perilously, watching the humans. So I'm talking about the seagull on this statue here. So my where phrase is here, isn't it? On top of the grand golden statue. So pause me here and have a go at starting your sentence with a where phrase. On top of, underneath, next to, in the corner, inside, outside. Right, off you go. Okay, and the last one I'm going to do with you is the estimation of time. So a time word, really. So decide what you're going to write about, and at the start of that sentence, put in a time phrase. So it could be later on, later that day, suddenly. I've written, all of a sudden, a car whizzed by while the driver sang at the top of her voice. There she is, look. And my time phrase that I've used is all of a sudden. Okay, so pause me here and have a go at your estimation of time sentence. Okay, I'm going to leave you now, but what I want you to do is to try and do 1 or 2 more of those dad waivers on your own now. Okay, and don't forget to send in your work to Seesaw and we can see your fabulous writing. All right, year 5, I will speak to you soon. Bye.